On June 8, 2012, James Finks, known as Donnie, left Lenoir City, Tennessee for his home in Oliver Springs. Donnie had lived in Oliver Springs his entire life, but on this clear summer day, he did not make it home. When guardrail end terminals are not properly installed or have insufficient runout space behind them, this can result in tragic outcomes. It's Steve the Guardrail Guy, and I normally make short form videos, but I need you to go on this journey with me. This is a story about improper installation and challenges associated with a specific location and tragedy. It's going to be a two-part video series that I hope will lead to change around the state of Tennessee and hopefully even around the world. You are especially going to want to watch part 2 because there's going to be information about this location right here that I think has the potential to impact how we install guardrail, not just here, but everywhere. Guardrail end terminals are tested under perfect impact conditions. The soil is perfectly selected. The ground is level. The installations are precise. Those kind of idealized conditions can never be perfectly we don't find them in the field, but we have to follow the inventor's design exactly. Take a listen to this video from, it's a training session in South Carolina. The individual's name is John Durkos. He is with Road Systems. He's their vice president.
So before we get started, I'd like to establish a couple of the rules as we move forward when it comes to installing and maintaining and designing these products. The first one is to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Rule number 2, do not mix different parts of different products together. And then rule number 3, please follow rules number 1 and 2. If we can get through those 2 rules, I think we're going to have a high level of success as these products are implemented.
Donnie Finks knew State Route 327, Blair Road, like the back of his hand. He'd grown up here and lived here his whole life. But for some reason, as he passed Poplar Creek Road, his pickup truck left the left side of the road and impacted a guardrail end terminal here. Almost 12 years after Donnie's crash, I was auditing guardrails out here on Blair Road, and I found 7 SKTs with this potentially lethal installation error. I found similar installations, dozens of them, all across the state of Tennessee. But this can lock in the system. In fact, every SKT 350 on Blair Road was improperly installed, just like this. Now we have an MSKT here that is properly installed, but we don't know what was at Donnie's crash. But in October of 2011, months before Donnie's crash, we know that there was an SKT 350 based on Google Street View imagery from this location. It also appears that there was a 10-inch bolt at post 2 at this location. Public records request from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. We cannot obtain the crash photos because their holding policies they don't have them any longer. They have been disposed of. It's very difficult, even under idealized conditions, to know exactly what kind of installation errors may have been at a crash site. But we can, with a high degree of confidence, because every other SKT 350 on this road was improperly installed, we can assume that the one here was also improperly installed. So what difference does a small guardrail bolt here and a 10-inch bolt, what difference does it make? Can one bolt truly alter the outcomes of a crash? Well, I can tell you that the installation manuals for this device are crystal clear with a warning that says, do not use a 10-inch bolt here. I want you to take a listen again to training from the Vice President of Road Systems, John Durkos, that was conducted in South Carolina regarding this bolt location.
We want to be sure that the bolt that we use to connect post number 2 to the rail is a short bolt, as you see here, and not a long bolt that would extend through the back side of the post, creating a possible snag point when the impact head is trying to release the rail from the post. So I want to be sure that we use the proper bolt at the connection at post number 2. And the upper...
This problem with 10-inch bolts passing through the second post in SKTs across the state of Tennessee is just too significant and too severe to have a piecemeal approach to finding these and having them corrected. Governor Lee, I don't know if you remember, it was just as you launched your campaign to be governor. We met at a small meeting, and I know you have shared in personal tragedy. We talked, and you promised me that you would listen to me if the time came where your Tennessee DOT, you're the state's chief executive officer. The buck stops with you. You said you'd listen to me. I need you to listen to me now. A life appears to have been lost with this kind of installation defect. I have found dozens of these across the state of Tennessee. If we do not act in a systemic way, where we go out and inspect every location in our state for this installation error, more lives will be lost. The other thing we need to do, we need to double down on our installation training for our contractors and inspectors. But we need to not be dependent on our installations. We need to trust our installations. We need to trust engineering solutions to this problem. Maybe it involves the use of color-coded parts, potentially, painting these heads red. Maybe it's creating solutions where the improper installation is not possible. But Governor Lee, we talk about this idea of Vision Zero. The only way that we're going to get there is being deliberate in how we approach these kinds of problems. Work with me. Let us honor the life of Donnie Finks by using his death to stop any other family from living the horror that Donnie's daughter lives every day. Let's rob America's streets of any future victims by finding and repairing every location in the state of Tennessee.